The following statement is going to create some controversy, but I have to say it. In my opinion, this rendition of the 2,000-gallon aquarium is its best by far. Not only do we get to see how these fish act and react to an environment multiple sizes bigger than they're typically used to, but the drama within it is to die for. Let me explain. Before I announced that I was going to be adding over 140 Congo tetras, this was a South American themed aquarium. And the only fish that we had in it were my severums. We had these severums since they were about half an inch long, and now they are absolutely monstrous. Before adding in the geophagus and the ultim angels and the other tetras though, we had some problems. When fish breed in your aquarium, it's typically seen as a success and a sign of a great environment. But what if that breeding turns into some sort of competition? You see, I had one pair breeding out in front of this tree, the other pair breeding out behind it. Not only did they lay the eggs and fertilize them and fan them and bring them to wigglers, but then they became free swimming. And then for some reason, the pair that was here brought them to here, and the pair that was behind this massive structure of what looks like should belong in a zoo. And that's one of the best parts of this aquarium, is that we can truly sit back. And you've been to a public aquarium where you kind of just like breeze by and you look at it for a little bit. This, ladies and gentlemen, is my life. But then the pair behind it brought all their fry out to here. So now this could get dangerous because they've taken their fry from over here, moved them to right beside this air bubbler, which means if one of them fry goes near them bubbles, he's gonna get launched for the ride of his life. But that's not the more dangerous part. The parents can now see each other. There's the other pair right over there. With their fry. These guys are right here. We're on the other side, get a better perspective. For one pair, two pair. I don't know why they're moving them together. Maybe they're thinking about co-parenting all these fry. Like, hey guys, this is a lot of fish. Maybe we should split them up amongst each other. Do this together. I don't know if the camera even picks them up. Oh, two girls going at it. Oh, this is crazy. Oh, the two pairs are gonna go at it. Don't, guys. Just move your babies. What is going on in the 2000? This is your fault. You don't bring your family too close to another family like that. Oh, I don't know how this is gonna end. I'll keep trying to figure it out though. Oh gosh. Look at them all. No visual breaks. Almost like they're competing for who has the larger brood of fry. And then of course I'm thinking, the geophagus haven't laid eggs in this tank yet, and we do have a pair. In fact, this is my male. He's about 10 inches. If that gives you any sort of perspective on how big these fish are. Those ultims are getting big, but boy, oh boy, are they only gonna get bigger. Don't do it right now, do it when the video's over, but I want you to look at your hand. From dorsal fin to ventral fin, wouldn't cover. And I don't care how big your hand is, they are bigger than that. It just doesn't show up on video or through 1.6 inch thick acrylic as it does in person. So me wanting to trigger the geophagus, what are some of the things we do? Of course, water quality, conditioning with a good diet, but a lot of the times frozen foods, even live foods like blackworms or other types of worm type cultures will condition those fish to breed. And I take that from discus breeding. If I could breed discus like that, shoot, I can breed almost any South American cichlid like that. So I added in frozen brine shrimp. Oops. Frozen brine shrimp are the size of fry. The next day, all of the fry were gone. It almost triggered all of the fish in the tank, and I don't know specifically what happened, to eat all of the fry. That didn't stop these guys. They continued to breed and breed again. And right now, if we look right over there, we have a pair of severums laying their eggs. One pair of severums laying eggs and even or hatching the fry, hatching those eggs into fry, not a problem. Everybody acts relatively normal. When two pairs do it, they're constantly chasing everybody else off and they pack over to this side of the tank. It makes the tank look absolutely horrible and makes me regret having any type of breeding in this tank, even though it's massive and this shouldn't be an issue. With that said, I think this tank is going to be all about let everything balance out, and we'll go from there. That was only the first issue we faced with this tank. Lighting was, of course, the second dramatic thing that we had to deal with. And at night, when the fry were laid and hatched, I left the ambient lights on, or the room lights. I just dimmed them down a little bit. What I learned from that experience was, of course, the lights will allow the parents to see the fry, but I definitely shouldn't have fed that frozen brine shrimp. You see, remember when we bred those Geophagus savannae? We shut the ambient lights off, the fry probably scattered, and the fish got eaten. The parents couldn't even protect them. But we also have to be protective of the diet. On the topic of lighting, that's the second piece of drama I had to deal with. We're looking on top of this 2000 tank right now. You can go because you're not even plugged in. I have a little plant grow light there just to see kind of what it might do and supplement what we have here. You guys will remember that I've set up and was incredibly successful with shop lights, but they used to be halogen and different types of lights. These are 150 watt LED lights that shoot off 15,000 lumens of lighting at 6,500 kelvins. Did I mention they were 20 bucks a pop? I'm testing because nothing else is working, and that's the biggest problem with this 2000 is how do we penetrate almost 4 feet of water? I tried with your typical LED lights that cost $200-300 a pop. I've tried with other types of things, shop lights, grow lights, etc. It just causes algae. They're not penetrating deep enough. And if you look closely, and you technically don't have to look that closely, the plants are kind of dying off. So I panicked and I bought these LED lights. The lighting industry is changing so fast. I bought 2 to start, but I think I'm going to do 4. And you're probably wondering, why are they just sitting on plastic? Well, they don't get hot down here. These are their heat. Look at this. This is ridiculous. Just got them on Amazon. I'm not going to tell you too much until they work. I'm just testing them, and then we'll suspend them from the ceiling and or create some sort of contraption to, kind of suspend them over the aquarium properly. I'm not so sure if they're a true 6,500 Kelvin, so this is a plant grow out light. I have many of these, and full disclosure, I just put it on tonight because it puts off a lot of pink lighting, which makes red looks really good, and it should go on the 700 or a couple of them with the Asian Arowana because it just makes him look absolutely incredible. But bottom line is I'm going to test these and see if they have any improvement on the plants. The plants are not too far gone. We still have time, so we're figuring that out. So not only are my fish breeding and wreaking relative havoc on this tank, the plants are dying because of the lighting, and imagine if we would have added in the piranha and we weren't able to penetrate that amount of water. All those plants obviously would be goners. Fish are doing fantastic, water quality is great, but if I were to tell you problem solving is one of my favorite things to do in the aquarium hobby, you likely wouldn't believe me. But isn't that how we learn, and isn't that how we grow, and isn't that how we teach? I wish that was the last piece of drama I could give you. But as the king of drama, there's more. Check under your seats. This was meant to be a 6-week quarantine system. A couple sponge filters set up on some blocks, a very basic tank that, well, I built out of acrylic. However, when they got here, they had ick. I diagnosed it properly and I treated them, and then I added in medication. One of the problems with these fish is the blues, the blue Acara, the true blues, will not stop breeding. And when they breed, they push all the fish to this side of the tank. So much so that I stopped caring for this tank. I know that sounds heartless, but what I did was I let algae grow here and here. Is mostly detritus and different strains of algae. The tank's a little bit cloudy right now because I literally just cleaned it off to make this video. However, after 3 months of quarantine, these guys, I feel comfortable enough to add them to the 2000. They're not even the size of a pinky. I will admit that I wasn't sure I was actually going to add the blue Acara to the 2000 for 2 reasons. 1, they breed nonstop. 2, they remind me of a tiny little Jack Dempsey. Relatively okay. They're not great in coloration, but what if they cross the electric blues that are in there? Unlikely, but at the end of the day, the 2000 is just so darn big for these fish that typically are kept in like 50 gallon, 55, 75, 100 gallons. That wouldn't it be awesome to create an ecosystem of constant amazement? And while you guys might not see everything, members only of the channel will, OnlyFins, if you click the join button, you'll be able to see and follow along in a different perspective. But for me, no harm's coming to the fish, and it's just an absolutely fascinating tank to follow along with. When I walk out here, I have to pass by my Stingray grow-out tank, housing a absolutely perfect black diamond and the only type of stingray on the planet in existence. And I'm like, okay, cool, you guys are alive? I'll feed you in a bit. And then I look over and wow, cool, a 700-gallon Oscar aquarium. What was that? Oh yeah, an ultimate blood red Asian arowana. That's not exactly what I'm after right now. I come over here and it's a 16-foot long aquarium housing red belly piranha. And mind you, I'm only 10 feet into the aquarium gallery when I go over and I see the 2000. I want to see what's going on right now. I not only want to see if the Severums are breeding, if the fry come to full size, and of course a lot of people said, well, at least a few would, and they thought maybe the Ultims will breed at some point, and I'm totally on par with that. I think they will. The Geophagus, I think they will. But adding in the Acara could add in an extra bit of flair. Tiny little, really boisterous yet small cichlids, and see what happens. But like I said, these guys have been in quarantine for around 3 months. And that's literally how serious I take my hobby. Wouldn't it be better to make another video of adding the fish, get the views? Or do we ensure that the fish that we add are incredibly healthy and aren't going to infect an entire system? If we look closely, everybody is in incredible shape. In fact, I'd say the yellows, because they're not really focused on breeding, are getting bigger than the blues. Speaking of quarantine, by the time you see this, at least 4 weeks will have passed since we got the Congo tetras. I literally just came down here, none on the floor, none floating. These guys, all 142 of them, are doing absolutely fantastic. Now, I have a couple of ideas on how to grow them out and whatnot, but There's fish that are smaller than these guys in the 2000 right now, and they're doing just fine. I'd hate to add these and it become a smorgasbord for the severums as well as the geophagus, but I'm thinking that that's simply not going to happen. I have a couple of ideas. One, I'm building out an incredibly large grow out tank for the stingray born with no eyes, Helen, as well as Denzel, the absolute perfect black diamond stingray. And I thought maybe I could add these guys to that tank just to grow them out a little bit longer. But then I thought, because the quarantine's going so great, what's stopping me from adding them to that tank right away? And if I did, it would be a little bit less than 2 weeks from the time you see this video. But in my opinion, we should take things slowly. Add some fish a little bit at a time, see how they act and or react. I was just moving the lights around so everybody's like laying near the bottom. Imagine the Congo's up here. Look, there's tetras everywhere. There's a few. Look at the gouramis. Gouramis are fine too. They're everywhere. Look at these guys over here. Remember how we didn't have tetras with the piranha? But that is the trials and tribulations of the 2,000-gallon aquarium. And in today's video, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, thank you for following along for this long, we will, of course, be adding all of the Acara to the 2,000. And now you guys can kind of see like why I get so excited to come out here and see the 2,000, because so much is continuously and constantly going on. Quarantining new fish is something that I've not only advocated to you guys for years, but taught you how to do it. And I've always told you 4 to 6 weeks. If you guys remember, we got in 14 new Acara. This is a South American cichlid. They get small and is full of delight and color. We got some true blues as well as some yellows. The plan is to add them into the 2,000-gallon aquarium, which we're going to. However, if I would have done it right away, now that we've tied in the 700 into the 2,000 into the 375, we would have infected thousands of gallons. It was 4 weeks into their quarantine, when we noticed they were showing signs of ick. It's been treated, they're doing fine, it hasn't been back. Now it's 3 months, and in today's video, finally we add them. Now hopefully, I don't have to remove too much out of this tank, but this tank is actually going down into the new fish room. And it looks to me like most of these guys will simply swim into the net. Whew! I don't know how many that was, but it was a lot. Oh, everybody's scattered. They are so small. Was this too soon? 3 months quarantine. These guys are 2 to 3 inches in size. I guess we'll see. The 2,000-gallon drama tank is about to get incredibly interesting. Do not want that in there. In you go. It'll be interesting to see if they find each other. Cichlids are hyper intelligent, but I guarantee you when we add in the Congos within a couple of weeks, the Congo tetras are going to show their intelligence. One, two, three, four, five. We've got 5 of the yellows over here with a blue. They're gonna find each other. I feel like the yellows are more organized. If my blues organize with the electric blues, maybe something can come of that. But the tank dynamics just changed. This is going to be a fascinating journey because this isn't the only fish we're adding. We still have to add 142 Congo tetras within the next couple of weeks. Subscribe if you're not already, if you want to see this. It's very, very uncommon for somebody to dedicate a massive tank like this to a tank you would keep at home times 10 type of thing. So cool. I love it. I think I'm really excited to see if the yellows form a gang and the blues form a gang. And if you are looking forward to the next update or want to see any of this, including me adding the Congos and what happens with these two, look at them. They're about to lay. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already. Leave this video a thumbs up or a like. And of course, I'll see you guys in the next video 2 days from now.